All right, me and Peanut are going to do some laps around the pool while I show you highlights of today's congressional hearing with the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, and the Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray. And there were some heavy-duty highlights, and so here they are.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rosenstein, why are you keeping information from Congress?
Congressman, I'm not keeping any information from Congress that it's appropriate.
In a few minutes, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the House of Representatives is going to say something different.
I don't agree with you, Congressman. I don't believe that's what they're going to say, and if they do, they'll be
mistaken. I disagree, but I think in a few minutes, the House of Representatives is going to go on record saying you haven't complied with requests from a separate and equal branch of government, that you haven't complied with subpoenas, and you got 7 days to get your act together. I think that's what's going to happen in a few. And that's not Jim Jordan. I think that's a majority of the House of Representatives. In just a few minutes, I think that's going to happen. And I want to know why you won't give us what we've asked for.
Sir, I certainly hope that your colleagues are not under that impression. That is not accurate, sir. And
it is accurate. We have caught you hiding
Mr. Chairman,
information,
can we allow the witness to answer? Mr. Chairman, point of order. We can go to Mr. Jordan's press conference and listen to him, but we came here to hear from the witness.
The time belongs to the gentleman.
Mr. Rosenstein,
can we allow him to answer?
We have caught you hiding information.
Allow him to answer.
He will be permitted to answer when Mr. Jordan.
Why do we have them here?
We'll allow him additional time to answer.
Why are they not allowed to answer?
The gentleman is out of order. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Mr. Rose, let me make this one point, then I'll let you answer.
Mr. Jordan, I'd like to
make this one point,
sir,
where we've caught you hiding information, then you can answer.
What information that we've obtained from the FBI records.
Are you, as you sit here today, aware of any efforts to contact Roger Stone that occurred prior to July 31st, 2016?
I don't have any personal knowledge, Congressman, but I know that we are seeking to respond to Chairman Nunes' request. I think the one thing you need to
understand... About the same question as it regards to Michael Caputo.
I wasn't there, and so I can only answer questions that we direct to the FBI and then have them...
You're there now, right? I mean, have you asked these questions of anyone?
We have absolutely conveyed all the questions that Chairman Nunes has raised, and I'm optimistic that we'll be able to respond to him fairly soon.
You could understand why it would be of tremendous importance to the country that if the Department of Justice has represented to a court that this investigation began on July 31st, and if the fact that you cannot tell me definitively that before July 31st there was not intelligence collected on the Trump campaign, that is something of great interest to us.
Congressman, I think you should understand that there is nobody more committed to rooting out abuse and misconduct than I.
Why did you hide the fact that Peter Strzok and Judge Contreras were friends? Why did you redact that in the documents you gave to us? Judge Contreras is kind of important. FISA court judge, more importantly, just as importantly, the judge that heard Mike Flynn's case. Why did you try to hide that from us?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to respond. I've heard you make those sort of allegations publicly on TV.
I got the
and if you let me respond, sir.
Mr. Chairman, he should be given the opportunity.
Now, Mr. Jordan,
it's redacted.
I am the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Okay? I'm not the person doing the redacting. I'm responsible for responding to your concerns as I have. I have a team with me, sir. It's just a fraction of the team that's doing this work, and whenever you brought issues to my attention, I have taken appropriate steps to remedy them. So your statement that I'm personally keeping information from you, trying to conceal information...
You're the boss, Mr. Rosenstein.
That's correct. And my job is to make sure that we respond to your concerns. We have, sir. Now, I've appointed Mr. Lausch, who is managing that production, My understanding is it's actually going very well, sir. So I appreciate your concerns.
Again, I think the House of Representatives is going to say otherwise.
But your use of this to attack me personally.
Why did you? It's not
wrong.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. May the witness be permitted to answer the question?
It's not personal.
The gentleman will suspend. The witness is going to have an opportunity to say whatever he wants at the end of Mr. Jordan's 5 minutes. Until the
it is
end
not
of those
personal.
5 minutes, they're his time.
I appreciate your service. It's not personal. We just want the information. Why did you tell Peter Strzok not to answer our questions yesterday? When I asked Peter Strzok if he'd ever communicated with Glenn Simpson, he gave us the answer he gave us dozens of times. On advice of FBI counsel, I can't answer that question. Why couldn't he answer that question?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate your sincere concerns, but I didn't give Peter Strzok any instructions. If there was some problem with the instructions he had, I'll be happy to look into it.
Not what his FBI lawyer said.
Mr. Jordan, when you find some problem with a production or with questions, it doesn't mean that I'm personally trying to conceal something from you. It means we're running an organization that's trying to follow the rules, and we're going to respond.
You know what was interesting? When I asked him if he'd ever talked to Bruce Orr, he said he had. Said he had 3 times in 2016 and 2017. Then I asked him, have you ever talked to Nellie Orr? And he said, no, I haven't. I said, well, why can you answer that question? Because Nellie Orr worked for Glenn Simpson, worked for Fusion. He could answer that question, but he couldn't answer because FBI counsel told him he couldn't. He couldn't answer the question whether he'd ever communicated with Glenn Simpson, a journalist. Why couldn't he answer that question?
Mr. Jordan, I appreciate you saying it isn't personal. Sometimes it feels that way. How do I know, sir? I mean, you interviewed Mr. Strzok. I didn't, so I can't.
Works for you. Doesn't work for us.
There are 115,000 people who work for me, sir.
Mr. Rosenstein, did you threaten staffers on the House Intelligence Committee? Media reports indicate you did.
Media reports are mistaken.
Sometimes. But this is what they said. Having the nation's #1 law enforcement officer threaten to subpoena your calls and emails is downright chilling. Did you threaten to subpoena their calls and emails?
No, sir, and there's no way to subpoena phone calls.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm reading what the press said. I
would suggest that you not rely on what the press says, sir.
Well, I didn't ask if there's no way to do it. I asked if you said it.
I said what?
What I just read you.
No, I did not.
Well, now who are we supposed to believe? Staff members who we've worked with, who've never misled us, or you guys, who we've caught hiding information from us, who tell a witness not to answer our questions? Who are we supposed to believe?
Thank you for making clear it's not personal, Mr. Jordan.
Well, I'm saying the Department of Justice.
Me because I'm telling the truth and I'm under oath. If you want to put somebody else under oath and they have something different,
I know these staff members. Here's my last question.
Come on, Peter.
Sitting here right now, I don't know exactly who was involved in drafting what FISA application.
So just to be clear, apparently, Director Wray, you have to answer for the Deputy Attorney General about FISA applications he signed?
No, you were asking about...
Yeah, the 4 applications to spy on Carter Page. And I think you've been a bit vague on whether you even... signed
No, sir. Let me try to clarify for you, if I may.
Well, did you sign the 4th FISA application?
I approved the filing of a...
Okay, now you say you approved that application. Now, that's going before a FISA...
That's my job, sir.
That's your job, okay. You approved it. Well, when you approve a FISA application, in your mind, does that mean you should read it and understand what's part of it?
You should certainly understand what's part of it, sir.
But you're parsing words, so that doesn't mean you need to read it, in your opinion. Is that correct?
It depends on the circumstances, sir, and...
Well, telling you, being a former felony state judge,
yes.
If I had somebody like you come before me, and now it was revealed later that the guy that signed and approved an application for a warrant had not even read the application that would allow spying on somebody, I would look at everything he signed from then on with a jaundiced eye. And I'm telling you, I was a little concerned about
Give me a chance to explain, sir.
Well, you have. You've said
no, I have not.
Approve it.
Well, I did approve it.
I didn't ask that question because you said you approved it, but you took out the words that you read it. And so it is my time.
Texas will suspend. I just want to make it clear to the Deputy Attorney General that you will be afforded a full opportunity to respond once his time is expired. If he wants to yield to you during that.
My time continued to run while the chairman took up some of my time. So
you'll have that too.
And actually, I was being interrupted. I did not have a question. I was taking the words that the Deputy Attorney General himself said. So, well, let me ask you about this. You said earlier Bruce Ohr was not working on the Russia investigation. Let me ask you,
to my knowledge.
To your knowledge, did you not know that Bruce Ohr was meeting with Christopher Steele, getting the information about the dossier and supplying that information to the FBI at the same time his wife Nellie was working for Fusion GPS that was helping Hillary Clinton? Did you not know he was doing that for the FBI?
Correct.
You did not know that?
Correct.
Okay, so he officed a couple of doors down, but you had no idea that he was actually the go-between to get that information. So when did you find out about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me start by saying it is ridiculous and stupid we're having an emergency hearing into the investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails in 2016. It is now June 2018, and thousands of kids have been ripped away from their parents by the Trump administration's child separation policy. They have not yet been reunited, and the kids not knowing if they're ever going to see their parents again or where they are is a trauma and horror we can only imagine. But since Republicans control the agenda, let's at least try to have this stupid hearing be based on the facts. So, Director Wray, I'm going to ask you, is there a deep state at the FBI?
Congressman, I've never completely understood the term deep state. What I can tell you is that we have 37,000 men and women working in field offices all over the country.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the highlights. Let me tell you who's behind the Russia investigation. A lot of people don't say this, but I've thought this for some time. It's Bush, man. It's been Bush. Been a big part of this Russian investigation from the very beginning and all the way through. You know, whether it's who started it, you know, originally it was some Republicans who haven't been named, you know, before it got handed over to the Clinton administration, working with Fusion GPS during the primary. Bush. There's the Oxford professor in England who's worked with the FBI many occasions over like the last 25 years, been paid a lot of money as an informant to spy on certain persons, was used by Bush the Elder. And he's the same person in it during his administration in the 90s for whatever purpose, as well as the Carter administration. But Bush the Elder absolutely used him. And, you know, he's the one who solicited, I think it was Carter Page, you know, and met with him multiple times, basically planning an FBI informant into the Trump campaign. You know, Rosenstein, I don't really have an issue with Rosenstein, other than, his kind of like acting like, I don't know why when he sort of behaves like nothing, like I don't know why everyone's so shocked when it's so obvious that this Russia investigation was completely political. You know, so his shock is a little bit silly. And Rosenstein is a Bush guy. In fact, he's one of the few, if the only one, the only U.S. attorney in the Obama administration that was left over, that wasn't let go when Obama became president. Mueller, Bush guy. You know, if I was a conspiracy theory kind of guy, I'd almost think that this whole thing at the border, which began in Texas, you know, and the Bushes they have a huge family with tentacles everywhere, whether it's in the media, his daughter works for the media, maybe both daughters, Billy Bush, on and on. They have in all levels of government, and definitely, he was the former director of the CIA, you know, Bush the Elder. So, you know, if somebody was a conspiracy theorist, they might think that, you know, it was the Bushes that were driving some of this story on the border to deflect from this. You know, there's many other instances where I can just tell you that, you know, the Russia investigation is a joke. And number one reason is because, can you produce one person who voted for Trump because of Russia? If Trump ran today, he would win even bigger today than he would have the day of the election. Much bigger. He's going to win big. You know, unless something drastic happens. I don't see it. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. Oh, and good boy, Peter. We'll see you in the next video. Whoa, later, man.